excited about riding with them? Are you gonna be up front? Are you gonna be?
I don't know. I'm excited about Bobby coming home. I'm excited.
Same here.
This is just a thing on the side. It's fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I like seeing motorcycles. I like these people, you know.
Yeah.
Started in the Air Force in November of 1982. I've been in coming up on 29 years, plan to go to 30 years to retire in August 2012, which is really November 2012. I'll have 3 months vacation time when I finish up.
Sharon, tell me about how you found out about Bobby wanting to join the Air Force and what that was like.
Well, he just wanted me to go somewhere with him. He said, I want you to go somewhere with me. And I asked him what. He wouldn't tell me. He said, I just want you to go somewhere with me. And we drove around and he got over to Roseville and he came up in front of the recruiting office. And all I could think of was, why? And I thought, you know, go through a lot of things when you're thinking about that. What will happen? Well, if he goes in, where will they send him? Will he be safe? Will he not? There was a lot of things that went through my mind, and one of them was to smack you for even thinking about it. I did think about that.
Dad said, out of the house by 18, son.
Oh.
I've always liked serving in the Air Force. I started off wanting to be a mechanic
You didn't need it.
and learn how to work on airplanes forever. That was a lot of fun. After a while it got old, of course, and slowly began to move up in rank.
Might have Tech Sergeant Burgess here. Right look in the eye, right mix of capability and attitude is just very noticeable for a commander. So I want to thank you for that. I got a little special commander's award to give you here today. There's no tape on it. That's all I've got. Thank you. Wow.
Where'd he go? Did you guys kill him? Get over there, Lamar. You're gonna pin him.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh no, we didn't come shake your hand, buddy.
Oh.
Assisting with the pin-on are his wife Jody and children Brandon, Nicholas, and Cassandra.
Get him, Red.
He's big enough you can all get him. Let's give all of our promotees one more round of applause.
What's been your favorite assignment in the military?
Well, it'd have to be Hurlburt Field, Florida. Because when I had the beach right outside the door, I worked on the gunships, and where they kill people and take over land. What an exciting airplane that was. It was a great job because I was a pro super, because you don't have to babysit people. All you had to do was launch planes, turn the keys over to the next guy, and go home. That was probably the funnest job. That's the job to have as a pro super. And you get to deploy twice and make some heavy impact in some of the stuff that we did. That was fun. Felt like you're doing something then.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, yeah, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present to you our most honored guest, our reason for being here this evening, our newest Chief Master Sergeants for 2008.
Senior Master Sergeant Robert Burgess and his wife Jody. Bobby is from Orangeville, California. He's a logistics wing lead production superintendent and is assigned to NATO. The Burgesses have 3 children, Brandon, Nicholas, and Cassandra. I am an American airman. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman, guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its sentry and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail. Hooah!
Hooah! Ladies and gentlemen, the Air Force's newest Chief Master Sergeant.
I really like being chief because now you can say what you want to say without having to worry about making somebody mad. They can't fire you. They can move you to a different job, but they'll never take away chief from you, which is really cool. And I've used it several times to my advantage or disadvantage. When I say that, I mean to make a point, something's right or wrong, it needs to be dealt with. I always wanted to be the chief. I thought about being a chief master sergeant of the Air Force, but I realized that it probably wasn't going to be something I was going to be able to attain with the time I had remaining in the Air Force. But when I made chief, it was like, my gosh, it really happened. I didn't think it would really ever happen. It's something like if you want a Ferrari, and you know you're never really going to get one, but then all of a sudden it happens. That was kind of like that feeling, wow, I got one. I am it. And that was fun. I like that. And I will miss being chief. I flew to the United States Air Force to finish up my 30-year career. And I get tagged for another 3-month deployment. Should be starting school next week. My 9th class towards my 9 classes left to finish my bachelor's science degree. But that'll be on hold.
Tell me what your last week's been like.
This last week? It's been chaos.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think you have a plan and things change and go in a different direction quickly.
So what's on the agenda today?
Pick up medical records, sign out from the hospital. Pick up all my drugs for the entire time I'll be gone. Go all the way to work, do 2 CBTs online, turn in this piece of paper, see about my tickets, my orders, and finish my process. Is that enough? Is that enough for one day? Probably just kind of make this click, and the rest is just pulled out.
Tell me about your shooting results yesterday.
Oh yeah, had a good day at shooting M16 yesterday. Just a couple bullets away from making Mark their expert. When they were trying, I was just trying to shoot the stupid thing. These guys are all dead. Dead, 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 dead. But you gotta go.
How are your ears today?
Not ringing as bad as yesterday.
Good.
So shall we go?
Yes.
That'll be interesting to see. But right now I'm coming over here to have my my last Carl's Jr. for the rest of this year. Which will be fun. Because I like Carl's Jr.
Are you nervous about your PT test?
On my PT test? Yeah, I want to do well on it. I think I'm going to do well, but I don't know. I'm fearful of failure on that. But if I don't make it, it's okay. I'll continue to train and get better. Cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go get a Carl's Jr. burger. Micro towel. Here's an umbrella that I don't need. It's a flashlight, 2 padlocks. My belt for my canteen, my holster for my gas mask. This is my other set of rain gear. This is what I used to fly on the airplane with. In case I hurt myself, I need to have a bandage. This is all my hearing aid junk so I can hear. These are my knives and stuff so I can cut myself when I do stupid things. My earplugs. My airman's manual, one of the most important things. I actually had to sign for this. You believe that?
Why?
I don't know.
What's top secret in it?
Nothing's top secret in it, but if I come across a bomb, I could identify it and tell how many feet away I'm supposed to be. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Looks like a Class B rocket. Should be 6 to 20 feet long. Yep. Well, you know what that means. We gotta clear 500 feet. Downwind, of course. Then you have all these things, so you can see each other at night and be a target for people to shoot you. No, I'm not really excited about it. Yeah, how much I hate flying in airplanes. Not because airplanes aren't safe, because I'm 6'4". Airplanes aren't do not accommodate people like myself.
So what time are you leaving tomorrow?
4 o'clock.
And how long till you get to where you're supposed to be?
It's going to take about 5 days.
Yeah.
Until you get to Ramstein, then fly into Incirlik, Turkey.
Yeah.
And then into Manas. And then from there, it's usually a day and a half wait to get on an airplane to fly into the place that I want to go.
What was the hardest part about him being deployed and you being so close to the reality of him being gone?
I think that the hardest part of it was just not knowing really what was going on. The flip side to that is I didn't really want to know what was going on. So you wanted to know, but then on the other side you didn't want to know because I know, at least for me, what would happen if I found out. Like certain things that he might have shared with you that kind of slipped out, it was like, okay, I didn't want to know that because my heart would just be worrying the whole time. So it was an interesting deployment because he'd been deployed at least twice before that I'm aware of, and I worried more in those 2 cases, but this was probably the worst deployment because of the actual situation during the deployment. So that was an interesting feature for me, was that he was actually probably safer in those other 2 deployments than he was now. And so the not knowing or purposely not knowing, for me, I didn't really want to know all the details. I wanted to be able to talk to him occasionally and know that people had talked to him. And then I was good, because if I had known truly what he was dealing with, it would have been very, very upsetting. It would have made it very hard for me to function.
was an email once in a while. Now I was able to Skype a lot and see my family fairly regularly. Of course, on that base, I was in a spot to where I had access to that almost 24/7. But there are other places on the base where you had to actually go to a place to do that. Luckily, in my job, there was that wireless internet that gave us that capability to speak. And that was fun. I've never watched my family do Christmas through Skype. And seeing all the activity and people wandering around and doing stuff, like sneaking in the kitchen when they should be eating. You never getting people at the table. That was really entertaining, actually. I think my face hurt afterwards because I was smiling so much.
Merry Christmas, Judy.
Memory card full, Jody. Oh
That's all I know is skip foot. How are you, bro? Yeah, not gonna pick me up like you used to? No, you're too fat for that.
Guess where I got the picture on the inside from, and a little dog tag we have made up for you, just a mission accomplished. And now if you're really smart, you go out there on these tire. These guys want to shoot. Which one do you want to do?
I think with me, I kept waiting for him to come down those stairs. And your mom was there and she was doing the same thing, her and I both. And it was just like, you better hurry up, you better hurry up, buddy. Because I was ready to go upstairs. And it was like, go up there and meet him. And catch him before he could think about turning around and going back. But it was, yeah, Patriot Riders were, it was very intense to have them there, to see that level of support. Yes. For him, and I think they probably had 50 people roughly supporting you, civilians, retired civilians who worked at Air Force bases, retired veterans, veterans of wars, not just veterans of the services. And I asked them what, wow, these are a lot of people. Do you do this every time? And they said, no. They go, the turnout is actually fairly large for this event because of your brother's service, and because he's coming home from Afghanistan, and because of his number of years of service and your rank. So, which is pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. So it was mixed feelings, because we on the backside knew that our dad had passed away, but on the front side of it, we were so happy that you were coming home. We couldn't stand it, and then having everybody there actually made it better. It made it easier to deal with the situation. So, because I think that if it had just been our family there as a family unit trying to deal with both sets of emotions, it would have been extremely difficult. It would have been extremely difficult. But the Patriot Riders truly made it a celebration, which is what it was. It was a celebration. And we all knew that hopefully, that's probably your final deployment. You know, and we'll see how things go, but hopefully your final deployment. And so that was perfect that Jody set that up, because that was the way that, I think that's the way that everybody should be received.
There's no more stepping to the side. There's no more backing out now. Gonna keep on climbing till I reach the top. God knows my feet, 'cause they feel so weak. I can't make it up. One more step without you. I know my strength is you who lifts me up.
Caravan broken.
Whoa.
We have a security breach. Receiving service and it's shaking a lot.
There's no more stepping to the side.
They had communicated, so I didn't think they were
That's not a motorcycle, but that's okay.
There's